Well, that's exactly how things can go on the battlefield when you're playing Battlefield 4. Hi folks, this is Gator, the old guy gamer. Just giving you some gameplay footage on Conquest Large Rogue Transmission Battlefield 4. And I think when I'm trying to put new videos together, I watch a lot of YouTubers on Battlefield that have commentary, and I try to think of different things I can do. Everyone has seen a lot of the gun reviews and stuff, and you can see those. There's a ton of them out there on YouTube, but I always like to kind of go over what I'm thinking when I play a Conquest game. Conquest is a game where typically there's 5 flags, and you want to own a majority of the flags. That way the ticket count on the other team will reduce automatically. So we're trying to capture the D flag here. Someone comes behind us with a shotgun. I don't know what he was thinking, but we had our whole squad was here. He got one of us, but also coming back behind here, I see that someone has put out a spawn beacon. So I want to eliminate that right away. Sometimes you don't want to eliminate it because as soon as you knock it out, your enemy that put it there is going to know that you're there. So it's kind of letting them know also that you're coming into that area. So you have to weigh the options there. So we decided to go ahead and just take it out. But I had a tank here, enemy tank. I wanted to throw slams on it because slams are so much better than C4, because when you throw slams on a tank, someone blew it up with a launcher before I could get a chance to use it, but slams stay on the tank after you die. If you run around with C4, as soon as you die and are not going to be revived, the C4 disappears, so you don't get credit for the kill or any of the effort to put those slams on the tank. So keep that in mind. Slams, I think, are better than C4 because they're metallic, magnetic, and they can stick to all kinds of things, and they love tanks. So if you're already sticking them on the tank, then you don't have to worry about putting them in the road or on a column somewhere because they're already affixed. So all they have to do is get up to speed, and it sets off the detonation timers in it, and boom, they go. Coming into the C flag here, and the one thing I wanted to remind everybody is to please, gosh, I play with so many randoms on Conquest, and the squad leader will never tell everybody where he's going. Always let everybody know where you're going. I mean, it's free points. I think I'll get 100 points just from someone obeying the order and going and help the capture. And I made a big mistake there. I went up the hill, and they were obviously holding it down, and I should have had more of my teammates with me instead of trying to go it alone. Sometimes you can really try to bowl your way through and try to take all the objectives yourself, and in Battlefield 3 you could get away with that, just a couple guys, but these maps are so large and there's so many people in them that you gotta, I keep trying to tell myself that you really have to play as a team more than ever, because that's what the other side's doing. They had a whole squad of enemy players up the top of there, so I jumped on that four-wheeler just to get into the map a lot faster, and they were starting to take a lot of our flags here, so we're trying to take some of them back, and that was an easy kill there. But I see an enemy up here, and I try to aim and try to hit him, and for some reason I couldn't finish him off. But you notice when I reload, I go into cover. I back up a little bit, regroup myself, and then he knows I'm there. See, he shot me right there, so he knows I'm there. So what would a normal player do? A normal player would probably go back in there and shoot through the window. I come back on the other side here and give him just a little different area to think about where I might be. And apparently one of the other soldiers has already taken care of him. So I'm throwing down my slams here because an LAV pops up here immediately as soon as, oh, that was so good. He comes behind me, and I think he was trying to get a knife kill. And that's the great thing about gaming headphones, is you can hear them coming. So I had to give him a little teabag action there, just to remind him how much of a fail that was. But just to let you guys know, I'm using the AK-5C with the HD33 scope and suppressor, and I don't really like a lot of add-ons on my guns. I like a lot of, I don't want magnifier, I don't want canted iron sights. I never use that stuff. I would only use a canted iron sight if I have a long-range scope and I need to come in for a close-range battle. This HD33 is starting to become a favorite scope of mine because it has very good wide window to look through, and it has a very good target, very clean target. So I like that. I think I like it more than the coyote sight. The coyote sight's so large and has such a small reticle that sometimes you can get lost in trying to find and acquire your target. I like a little bit more reticle on my scopes. So I'm burning the C flag here, and I like this spot because it gives you cover, and if someone tries to shoot you through the windows there or comes in through that back door, I'm right there to hit them. I hear a tank and find out it's my buddy Guns of Paradise. He thinks I guess there's an enemy in there, and I'm actually in there. And I run to get in his tank, and that just re-emphasizes the point how strong the slams are. He hits a slam right as I'm entering in his tank, and boom, we both go up. So just want to reiterate how important slams are in this game. If you're going to play on the engineer, always equip those. They're really good to have. It's the equivalent of, I think, better than C4 on the other classes, because they are persistent. They do stick around after you die. Now, if you notice, I'm not engaging the enemy here. I'm all by myself. My squad is, I think it has other flag areas, and all I'm doing is marking. Notice I'm just spotting all my enemies here. I'm way outnumbered. I'll know I'll die if I try to go after them. I'm going to get shot down. I may take one or two with me, but I'm just, like I say, just spotting everything I can, letting my teammates know where all these guys are. Better than ever a UAV, because UAVs go away and you have to keep reapplying them if you're a commander. But I'm just keep spotting, and I realize, okay, I'm down to 1 or 2 soldiers now. The odds are in my favor, so I'm coming back down, try to reacquire the tag. I see him there, and try to get up in here, and I don't know why I didn't get this kill. I mean, he's just been lit up. But I throw my grenade in there, and then the one rule of thumb is never pursue enemies into a building. When you do that, the total surprise factor is in their favor. So me and Guns are trying to burn this flag, and we realize there's more than 2 people here because it's not burning down. Now we know there's more than 2 people here because the flag is, I'm sorry, I guess one of them got removed, and we are starting to burn the flag down now. So it means there's at least 1 player here. Maybe none. But we start getting the flag here, and like I said, I just can't emphasize enough to spot your enemies. Really good teams, that's all they do is just mash that spot button, and letting them make sure that everybody knows where the soldiers are, where your enemies are. Because I think I've played on a lot of games just by myself, and I'm amazed at how many people don't spot. And the one thing I do notice is usually the team that spots the most usually wins the game. Everybody knows where they're at. They're already around a rock or a barrier ready to shoot you because you've been spotted. And there are certain perks you can put on, certain squad perks you can put on where you can get unspotted a lot faster than normal. But there's so many other squad upgrades that are so much better than that have so much more benefit. So I really want this Echo flag. So I've ordered my troops to go to here to attack. And I'm running in here, and first thing I want to see is the flag burning. It's not burning. So that means there's players here. So I see him jump down there, and I jump down here to get him. And apparently he ran off, or one of the other members of our team shot him. But we're still not burning the flag, so that means there's more enemies somewhere else in this area. And like an idiot, I'm looking at the C flag and not looking at my target in front of me. And like I said, good or bad, I mean, I can splice together all my great things I did in the game, but I want to also put in things where I made big mistakes. And I knew there were enemies at this flag, and for some reason I look at the C flag. I don't understand why I did that. You know, you just get caught up in the moment. But we're coming into the Delta flag here, and notice there's a lot of people hanging around the back of this part of Delta. And didn't even see the ones coming out of the mountain. I'm so focused on the four-wheeler in front of me that there were 2 more in his squad that came up behind me and shot me. So I mean, sometimes I spawned into that. So sometimes there's not much you can do to prevent that. You notice I'm very careful where I decide to spawn. That's where I died. Right there is where the square is right there in the middle of the map, and you can see we don't have many flags taken here. So I hop in an LAV. This is kind of the weaker cousin of the tank. It moves a lot faster than a tank, a lot more maneuverable in my opinion, but doesn't have the armor that a tank has, so it can't take quite as much damage. There was obviously a sniper somewhere up high and on a hill, looks like it's some kind of sensing device, spotting device that was lighting me up. So I just hopped down a little lower here where we couldn't lock on, and we ended up taking this flag. And that's the one thing about Battlefield. Everything is so detailed that you can get stuck on the littlest things. So I finally maneuver out of this area, and I see the what I call the Doritos on the mini-map. Obviously there's one way up in the tower there. I can't really do anything about that, but there's some coming in from the hill areas, and then also a tank. And when you are in an LAV, your biggest advantage over a tank is maneuverability. So when you're trying to shoot a tank, move in and out of cover like I am here. Take your shots, and then when you reload, and those are Zuni rockets I'm using there, when you're trying to reload, move in between cover, because it's kind of like when you're reloading a gun when you're a soldier. You want to reload when you have some form of protection. It's all about cover in this game. So we're deciding to go to the D flag here, and you know, our team, to be honest, wasn't spotting very well, and there was a lot of areas where we weren't seeing soldiers and just getting surprised by soldiers. And this is where you can really get really turn the tide of the game just by spotting. Please spot soldiers. It lasts for about 3 seconds on average, but spot your soldiers. And I got a couple soldiers here trying to light me up, and you notice I'm firing in third person. It gives me a chance to see where they are in relation to my infantry field vehicle. And I've got a gunner in here with me. He's helping eliminate the infantry, and the setup I have on my infantry field vehicle is the high-speed missile for my main gun. The Zuni rockets are my secondary weapon. Zuni rockets, as you'll probably see later in this video, don't have very good range. They're very good if you're running into a cluster of infantry, but generally they're not very strong at distance. But they can really tear up infantry and light armor in closer ranges. So you notice on my last video I explained how when I was in a tank, how you really just want to ease into an area, not just fully run into it. Not just for mines and things like that, but you want to ease into it to see how many players are there guarding it. I mean, it's just myself and a teammate in the gunner position. So if I go in there and I'm taking it, I know at least we have more players than they do. And it was obvious there was one enemy there, and we ended up taking him out. But the LAV can be a very good weapon in the battlefield as well, because not only can you destroy tanks and other infantry field vehicles and jeeps and especially infantry, but you can carry, you can see how many slots there are. I can carry 6 people, including myself, in this thing to get to a flag. That's a whole squad. So when you're using an infantry field vehicle, you kind of feel a little more responsible, because if you get blown up, you're going to take 5 other guys with you if it's full, and that can be devastating to our team. That's 5 tickets that just got taken off the scoreboard. So we're trying to work on this guy right here, and we finally get him. I get a lot of help from my teammates here, and my squad has gotten a lot bigger now. I've got a lot more help, so I'm getting a lot better support.
I spotted an enemy machine gunner south of your position. We've taken objective Charlie.
Waiting for Guns to get in. He's putting out some slams behind me, and just to cover our tracks. That's really good to do as well, because if you have a tank or something moving behind you, you at least know or are going to get some kind of warning that they've hit the slams. And if it doesn't destroy them, at least lets you know that there's a vehicle back there. We're going back up to take the Bravo flag, and it was really, at the first part of this game, it was a pretty good tug-of-war, but we started losing ground very quickly. The other team was a lot more aggressive at taking the flags. And remember that Conquest, like I said, is a tug-of-war, and the key to playing Conquest and winning a lot of games is to have an aggressive team, but cautious. Aggressive but cautious. Aggressive meaning that you're playing the objective. You're running and taking as many flags as you can at the beginning of the game and start to get the drain of tickets on the other team. And the other team did that to us. They were taking the flags so quickly, so early, and there's nothing that irritates me more than when I play into a game of Conquest where so many people don't play the objective. They go out to the mountains and try to get sniper kills, or God knows what they're doing. But I just kind of felt like our squad was the only one playing the game here. And I'm probably wrong in that. I'm sure there were other squads that were helping out to the game as well. But you can see that a lot of the enemy is moving as a group. They're taking flags. Even if they're on foot, they're taking flags in a group. That's very smart, because if I'm a single player, even in an IFV like this, it's going to be tough for me to take out an entire squad because they're going to scatter and run, and I have to decide which ones to go after. So that's very smart to do that. So, okay, I see a tank in front of me, so I'm like, okay, I got that area covered. So let me look behind me here and make sure nothing's coming up on me. And sure enough, here comes an enemy. And not very smart, or maybe it was his last option, is to get into the AA gun here, and we just wail on him. There's just not much chance for him to survive there. We finally got the Charlie flag, and you notice I'm still issuing orders. I'm the squad leader. I'm letting everybody know I'm going to Echo, and I had a really good gunner in my IFV here. He was doing a really good job at help clearing infantry, and that's, like I said, that's what the gunner is good for, is spotting your enemies around you, like I mentioned in previous videos, and also letting you know if there's infantry around you, helping eliminate them with that weak 50 cal. Gosh, it's hard for me to say that, a weak 50 cal. 50 cal is just devastating to any kind of human coming around, but for some reason it's really been nerfed in this game. The 50 cal just really isn't very strong at all. But there again, it's good at suppression. It's good at taking out infantry here and there. My squad, like I said, we're all trying to take the Delta flag now. We got a tank also helping us out. And it seems like we always have enemy players up in these hills to the left. But we soldier on, we keep going, and I'm just trying to sit back and look and see what we can take here. I'm trying to decide where our next move should be. And you can see there's a lot of infantry out there, so we just start pegging away at the infantry here. And I tried to get this one here. I think a fellow teammate ended up getting him. But I was very surprised too that the enemy team didn't put out a lot of slams or mines. Maybe they were just worried about just capturing the flags, because it obviously was working for them. They were quickly draining our tickets, and we weren't having much luck in getting it caught back up. So I decided, all right, let's go take the Bravo flag. And then I decided to go to the Charlie flag. And it's sometimes hard to line up when you're trying to issue an order. You have to aim at the flag and then press a button to issue the order. Sometimes when you're bouncing around in an infantry vehicle like this, it's kind of hard to do. But my gunner's still there with me, still hanging in there with me. He decided he's going along for the ride, and we go in here and take the Charlie flag back. By the way, on this map, if you're a commander, this Charlie flag is the AC-130. So this is a very crucial flag to take, especially if you have a commander working for you. The AC-130 is probably everyone has talked about as very devastating now. It can really knock out infantry, tanks, other land vehicles very quickly. It's pretty weak to any kind of flying vehicles, but man, it can really take out anything on the ground pretty quickly. So if you had a commander right now, this is the flag we would want to keep and make sure that we kept, because then that way we can keep the AC-130 up in the air. So I'm going up to the Echo flag, and there's been a lot of traffic with big squads, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to go up the gut this time. I'm going to go through the side here. Go where the enemy isn't, right, or where they think you aren't. And we were lucky here. There wasn't much resistance at the Echo flag. And I think this team, like I said, they were just running from flag to flag to flag. And is up there in one of the wire-guided missile launchers. And when you shoot that thing, you might want to get off of it after you shoot, because we see the vapor trail of that missile, and we know where it's shot from. So 9 times out of 10, we're going to go right back to that area where you shot it. So as soon as you fire that tow missile, the wire-guided missile, it's good to back off of it a little bit. Let them try to attack it, and then if you want to attack again, it'll be there waiting for you, all loaded up and ready. And there, finally, as mentioned, nobody had any slams or mines out, and sure enough, we finally hit one. And that is the end of my infantry field vehicle adventure. So I'm back on foot again, and sir, the game's almost over, but our squad is just not giving up. We are just continuing to fight, not giving up, still pushing, trying to take flags. And you can see we're here, and the flag is getting burned the opposite way. So there's other players here. So we're doing our best. We're trying to take this flag back, and like I said, the other team was just really, really good, just going from flag to flag, and that's the objective in Conquest. It's not so much kills. I mean, you can get in Battlefield 3, I would get an MVP medal. I'm sorry, an MVP ribbon in first place and go 0-0. All I did was just take flags. So keep in mind, Conquest is not so much about KD and getting kills and whatnot. It's about getting these flags, keeping the balance, pulling on the rope, pulling it in your favor. And this guy was a pretty good sniper. He was using cover effectively, and he was moving in and out. He was behind the mountain there, and with an AK-5C, I just didn't have the range to hit him really well. He ended up going down, but that was very smart to do. So just wrapping up here, I spawned into that. There's not much you can do sometimes. I mean, you want to jump in and help your friends out. Sometimes it's just not smart to do that. I spawned right in on one of my squad mates and immediately died. Of course, I spawn in again, and I end up getting that kill anyway. But like I said, look at our squad. We're still running around. We're still playing aggressive. We're not giving up. And, game's over. But the main thing to think about here is when you are playing Conquest, it's very important to have an aggressive but cautious team. You want cautious because you want people to remain behind cover and not just run in willy-nilly and get shot up. The second thing is spot. Make sure you spot your enemies. I think the other team was spotting their enemy pretty well, and I think that's the reason why they did so well. But just ran out of tickets, ran out of time. That was a good game overall, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments, something you want me to post in the future, let me know. But thanks for watching. Gator out.